Good morning, good morning. Happy Tuesday. How are you all doing? Please like and share as you come in. I really appreciate it. Like and share as you come in. So, if you're new to my channel, welcome, welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for always coming back. I'm sure each and every one of you already know what's happening currently right now with the US. So we're going to be touching on a few topics. Actually, I've actually got a few stories or a few topics I really want to embark on. So I'm just going to go as God leads this morning because I've got a lot of topics I really want to touch on, and obviously from the title there, the main matter in the house is the fact that it seems that Nigerians and obviously maybe everybody are believing that the US is intentionally targeting Nigerians by canceling visas. Yeah, by canceling visas that were previously issued only for them to contact people and say, "Oh, by the way, you need to come blah 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 and blah 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 blah," and then their visas get cancelled for no reason. And I've since noticed that each and every time that the US makes a move about immigration, visas, whatever, the UK does the same as well. Yeah, the UK seems to do the same. I think in the past 2 or 3 weeks now, there's been the talks of the UK saying, "Oh, they are shutting the door on immigrants, that people who are um getting into the UK via small boats and stuff like that." And I know, as a Nigerian, I know Nigerians don't come into the UK via the boats. We don't come to into the UK via the boats. Yes, I know Nigerians will apply for the visa, they will pay for their flight ticket, and they would enter into the country. So that's why I've obviously not been bringing the story of the back to back about the small boats immigration in the UK. But then I just think that there's like a there's a style here. You know, when the US raves about immigration, the UK does the same. Or when UK does something about the immigration, the US does the same, and then Canada does the same. And it's like there's a the word is in my head. I just can't voice it. So with that being said, like I said, it's since yesterday. I think yesterday afternoon, I shared an image on my community tab about obviously the news that the US are now just canceling visas for no reason. They are not giving you the reason why. They are just giving a certain code, and you whose visa has been cancelled, you are left wondering, why have they cancelled my visa? I have not gone against any visa policies. I have not overstayed my travel. I've not overstayed when I was meant to visit. Hello, Abby. Good morning, baby sis. How are you? That you'll be wondering, like, you've not overstayed your visa. Why did they cancel your visa? Like it's like a rude shock. But let me share my screen with you because, like I said, I found an article where that was actually being discussed, and I was like, you know what, let's bring it here. If this is something that they are intentionally doing, then maybe something has to be done. And I'm sure I saw, was it a news article or something, or I saw a video where Baba Tinubu was stylishly, shading as well, saying that when Nigeria will retaliate, blah 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 blah. I'm trying to find that article now. I hope I've not closed it. Yeah, okay. I think I found. No, that's not the one. So guys, please like and share as a comment. Let me find that article now. So it was the Guardian who actually released that article. Right. So this is the post from the Guardian, and they did say the quiet revocation. Why is the US silently canceling Nigerian visas? Yepa, yepa. I just saw something now and I want to laugh, but we'll do that later. We'll do that later. I just saw a logo just now, Happy. You've probably seen it, but let me not talk about that. So, you like the article you've just seen there that I'm sharing with you. Let me go back to it. I can't even find the article again. Okay, there it is. So it says it was written on the 31st of August 2025, and it did say that in recent weeks, an unsettling trend has quietly unfolded. The United States Embassy in Nigeria has begun revoking valid visas previously issued to Nigerian citizens. This is not rumor or speculation. Dozens of affected Nigerians, professionals, entrepreneurs, and frequent travelers have received formal letters instructing them to submit their passports at the consulate in Lagos, Abuja, only to have their visas unceremoniously cancelled. What makes this development even more alarming is the veil of silence surrounding it. I have personally reviewed at least 8 such cancellation letters. The notice site title 22 Code of Federal Regulations Section 41.122 as a legal basis, vaguely stating that, in quote, new information became available after the visa was issued. What, like, if that was the case, would they not have allowed the visa to run its course before they decide to, do what they did by revoking people's visas? Like, guys, let me know. Abby, you're laughing. Let me know, like, if a new information was made available after the visa was issued, that's not on them. That's not on the people whom you have issued their visa. I mean, that's not on the people you have given the visa. I would imagine that they will allow that visa to elapse, and then maybe if they now come back to renew, that you can now say, oh no, we've got reasons to blah 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 blah. Because I just felt like it's just like how Kemi Badnock is saying, oh, indefinite leave remain is no longer going to be 5 years, it's going to be 15 years. So people who are already on the course of the 5 years, you cannot tell me that no, now instead of 5 years they are now going to be on the 15 years. No, because their visa was granted on the course that after 5 years they're entitled to this level, or they're entitled to this process of visa or leave to remain. You can't say because you are now introducing something new as a 15-year guide to indefinitely leave to remain, that those who were already on the plan of 5 years, you're now automatically going to put them on the 15-year wait. No, it doesn't apply. That's how I'm able, I mean, that's the only comparison I can make. I would have imagined that those ones who you have issued visas to, let the cost of their visa run out. Once the cost of their visa runs out, then if they plan to renew or come apply for a visa again, you can see, maybe, I mean, by then, maybe there's going to be other laws or not. But I just felt like doing that in between or after their visa has been issued, and then you're now calling it's just like you start WAEC, and WAEC can now say, we mistakenly gave you A1, bring your, come and see the exam again, or this is your new result. Like, it just doesn't make sense. So let's continue. It says that beyond that, nothing is explained, no evidence is shared, no avenue for appeal is offered. Recipients are merely advised to reapply if they wish. And I think the advice everybody in the US are giving now is that, come, if you don't have any serious business in the US, just stay put. Like, there's no point applying for any visa. No avenue for appeal is offered. Recipients are merely advised to reapply if they wish, an instruction that provides no comfort to those suddenly stripped of their mobility. For many, this is not just about stamps on a passport. These visas are lifelines for education, family reunions, medical treatment, and critical business. To have them snatched away without explanation is to live lives suspended in confusion and despair. Among those affected is a prominent Nigerian journalist, the head of a federal parastatal, okay, scheduled to deliver an international address, and a respected Abuja entrepreneur. Well, if America can do this, you guys remember that security business owner in Nigeria whose family were refused a UK visa. His sister is married to an Oyinbo woman here in the UK. So he is a company that provides security systems in Nigeria. So he has provided security for like dignitaries in Nigeria everywhere. So the UK are still telling, they still turned down his visiting visa, saying that the evidence he provided was not enough. And people were like, oh, people now, their source of wealth is not always, is not always the way they portray it. So if the UK can refuse somebody with a well-recognized business as a security agency, as a security firm in Nigeria, or more, America will refuse anybody. America will refuse anybody. So it says here that, and a respected Abuja entrepreneur with a spotless travel record, each had to abruptly cancel engagement, refund tickets, and explain to partners abroad why they could no longer show up. In some cases, the humiliation has been unbearable. Travelers discovering at the airport, sometimes even at boarding gates, that their visa, wow, that's bad. Even at boarding gates, wow, that their visas had been quietly invalidated. A few were briefly detained by immigration authorities before being sent home in shame. These are people who never overstayed their visas, never violated immigration rules, and never raised red flags. So what changed? Exactly, we should be asking the American embassy or the US what changed. And I think I was on a show yesterday, or we were in a chat yesterday, where they were saying that ICE in the US are now going to African shops, like they're going everywhere and anywhere. I mean, if they could go into schools and arrest parents they know of a certain wherever they come from that they probably will not have immigration status. If they could go into schools, where would they not go to? They would go anywhere. Why would they would exempt African shop? They would exempt African shop. So the article concludes that the wave of cancellations appears to reflect an unspoken tightening of US visa policy towards Nigerian travelers. Since the late 2010s, Washington had steadily increased security of nationals from high migration countries, with Nigeria frequently on that list. I guess this is a sign they are telling Nigerians what to do. And I'm sure you and I, as Nigerian, we know what we're supposed to do, but we're just, we're just not, we are acting as if it does not concern us. Abby said, this immigration thing there, I guess they are telling Nigerians something that, will hold your government accountable. Stay in your country. They just can't tell it to our face, but these actions, this action, that is what this action is actually saying to me. This is what it means to me. Abby said, I know a lot of people wish they jackpot since exactly. See, even in the midst of the fact that some people's hello Atu, hey, long time Atu, well, long time. How are you? Welcome, welcome. Even while we are reading stories of people's visas being cancelled, some people are rejoicing. There was a video I was watching on TikTok about 5 girls who all had visas and they were jetting to the US. And then people were like, God, when? God, when? God, when? So Abby said, I'm even scared to go to America next year like this. Their wala is too much. I've been seeing British citizens getting sent back unprovoked. Wow, wow. Anyway, hopefully maybe before next year things will have resolved a little bit. So it continues saying that with Nigeria frequently on that, leaked documents from the Trump administration era revealed guidance that encourage officers to flag entire demographics rather than review cases individually. That's what UK immigration will say, that cases are being dealt with individually. What Nigerians face today seems to be a continuation of, if not an escalation of, that troubling practice. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs must urgently respond by issuing a public statement, lodging a formal protest, and demanding clarity. Failure to act diminishes Nigeria's dignity and leaves its citizens vulnerable to arbitrary treatment. Diplomats owe it to Nigerians to press for transparency, insist on accountability, and defend the right. But at the end of the day, when we look at these things, like why Nigeria is constantly on their list, go to the Department of Justice website of the US. Who are the top list of people being arrested for fraud? Who? I mean, you guys must have seen a lot of those stories on my channel. Who? Like what country? Like I said, in the past 2 months, when I started bringing that story back to back, there's been almost like 20 Nigerians who have been arrested for for committing fraud, defrauding them of COVID package, defrauding them of funds that are meant to be given to people who struggled during COVID because of their small business and stuff. Woo. So some of these things, at times we are pointing at this country for saying, oh, they are canceling visas, but then just because some other people are giving Nigerian bad names in the US does not mean, like, for example, this person who has a clear record of travel record, is visa or her visa being denied or being cancelled. It just doesn't make sense. I guess, like I said, they are trying to tell us something here, and as Nigerians, we are acting as if it does not concern us. So let's move on, guys. I've got my other devices so I can see your comment while I'm reading the news. So it continues saying there that at this core, the issue is about more than visas. It is about fairness, reciprocity, and human dignity. Nigerians deserve to know why their travel rights are being revoked. Exactly. If the US, so like I say, if they are revoking their visas, they should be given the exact reason why. Is there a certain documentation that were not able to be confirmed? Is there something that the applicant has submitted that they were not able to confirm before they issued the visa? They should let that applicant know exactly why they're refusing a visa rather than section 222. Like what is section what? Tell me what I have done in my application that means that you are now canceling my application or canceling my visa after you've already issued it. You need to, like, it should be done individually. It should be reviewed individually, not because there's a certain leaked documentation that says that Nigeria is constantly being scrutinized. Robert says, let African leaders make conditions of living better for their citizens. African leaders should learn from Burkina Faso leaders. I mean, I know, like I said, this is a sign that they are telling us that sit in your house, tell your government to do what is best for its people. But yeah, my people will not do that, okay? And we are just going to keep coming out there to call out a country that is looking out for its people. Should we be calling out the US government for looking out for its people? Should we be calling out the UK government for looking out for its people? Should we? Because at the end of the day, Nigerian government do not give a freaking F about Nigerians. They do not. They do not. Abby said, yes, so plenty TikTok videos I will send to you. He even spoke about a friend who is British that experienced this to, wow, send back for no substantial like, can you imagine? Can you imagine? So this article continues that those grants must be clearly stated. Cryptic references to, in quote, new information are not enough between two nations that claim to be partners. Exactly. I just mentioned that even before I read that part. This is a quiet crisis with devastating human cost. Careers are disrupted, families are torn apart, dreams are deferred, and dignity is diminished. Nigerians remain stranded in a cruel limbo, their plans destroyed and their future uncertain. So yeah, that's pretty much that about that news there. And like I said, I found a video on Instagram by Sassy Funke. I'm sure you guys know Sassy Funke. Sassy Funke is one of those people that shares information about, when you're traveling, wherever in the world you're traveling to. Sassy Funke shares lots of videos about what to do and not to do when you travel. So let me share my screen with you on Instagram, and I'll bring that video to you. So actually, let me go back. Let me go back and share that screen with you. So let me share my screen with you. Welcome everybody. I see you. Please like and share as you come in. I really appreciate it. Okay. So let's hear what Sassy Funke has to say. Sassy Funke also has a channel on YouTube as well. So let's listen to her. So according to her write-up, the US is quietly canceling Nigerian visas. And the caption was, your US visa could be cancelled even after it's approved. No warning, no appeal. Some Nigerians only found out at the airport. A few were given briefly detained before being turned back. According to Guardian Nigeria, this is quietly happening. So I've just read the article to you, but let's hear what Sassy Funke had to say.
Waking up and finding out that your US visa has been cancelled. No explanation, no warning, just gone. According to The Guardian, the US Embassy in Nigeria has quietly started revoking valid visas issued to Nigerians, including professionals, entrepreneurs, and even government officials. We're talking people with spotless travel histories, a prominent journalist, a federal agency head who was about to speak at an international event, an Abuja entrepreneur who's never overstayed a visa, all of them cancelled. Some of them only found out at the airport when they're ready to board. A few were briefly detained by immigration officers before being turned back. The cancellation letters they received basically cited Title 22 Code of Federal Regulation that new information became available after the visa was issued. But they don't tell you what exactly that new information is. There is no evidence, no right to appeal, nothing. So what's really going on? Is there a quiet crackdown on Nigerians? Because nobody is saying anything. Not the US Embassy, not our own government. Let's talk about it. Do you think this is fair? Or what exactly do you think is going on? Tag someone who needs to see this. And don't forget to follow your girl Sassy Funke for updates that protect your travel plans. Imagine waking up and finding out that your US visa has been cancelled. No explanation.
So that's pretty much that as well. And this is a page also from Sabio's page. It was like a number of Nigerian citizens with valid US visas are experiencing. So just pretty much the same thing. And he did say that my advice to my fellow Nigerians is to avoid the US for now if the trip is not super important. Sabio is in the US, so it's good to hear from people like him who are in the US, putting the advice out there that come. If Nigeria, if you don't have something important to do in the US right now, maybe cancel that trip to the US. So that's pretty much that about that. And I also want to share my screen. Good morning, Susan. How are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Atu said it's a message for absolutely. This is a message for us to fix Nigeria. Okay, this is a message for us to fix Nigeria. And like, if all of us, if we are all running, how is Nigeria going to get better? If we are not dragging our government by their blockos, how is Nigeria going to get better? It's not going to ever freaking get better. I know some of us, someone like me, I'm away from Nigeria, but I still lend my voice in the ways that I know how to, which is using my platform here. We can't all say that we don't hear these people screaming out loud. They are screaming out loud at Nigerians saying that sit in your country. We don't want you here. We don't want you here. That's what they are telling us. We don't want you here. Sit in your country. That's what they are telling us. And like I said, Nigerians, we are not ready. We are not ready because all this our government, they are doing something crazy, and we are not tobacco. If it is actually impacting us that much, we will be out here speaking about it. And like I said, there was a video I found of some girls traveling. Let me share my screen with you. I think it's got music in it, but let me take it off. I'll remove the music. So let me share my screen with you of those girls that they know in the midst of saying they are canceling visas. This is a set of 5 Nigerian girls traveling to the US, and people are like, how did they do it? How did they do it? So let me quickly share that screen with you, and then we'll move on swiftly to something else. Okay, I've got a lot of things I'm going to be talking about this morning. So I hope you have your cup of coffee. I already had a coffee myself, so I won't be having another one, just water. So this is a visa. This is a video I saw on TikTok about, I think there's about 5 of them saying they got their visa. So that's them packing their bags, traveling. And in the comments, people are like, welcome to Senior Lagos. Do we actually traveling to the US? That's 5 of them. You know, that's 5 of them traveling. And people are like, how did they do it? Like, give us a plug, blah, 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 blah. This, that. People in the comment section are like, God, when? Some people are even doubting the fact that they went because they had a layover in Istanbul. Like, how can you be traveling to the US and you have a layover in Istanbul? So if you go through the comments of that video, people are like, oh, tell us how did you do it? How did you do it? How did you do it? How did you? So they probably were I think they were in Texas or something. They were, so some people are getting these visas while some people's visas are getting revoked. Let me read your comments. Robert said, Abby, if conditions are good in Nigeria or another African country, you either go, I can't remember, I don't understand this, but I guess you are saying that if the conditions are better in other African countries, you will only go to Europe, America, either for business or vacation. Absolutely, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Abby agrees with you. So that's that video there. The advice here is this, that as Nigerians, this is the advice I'm going to give to my African people, that especially Nigerians, because I'm a Nigerian and this is affecting Nigerians. Okay. This is affecting Nigerians. I guess it is not a matter of I guess. This is a time we need to start holding our country accountable. I have a video that's going to drop later on about 7 o'clock tonight or 6 o'clock tonight about the trending stories in Nigeria and all of the things that have been happening. I want to start bringing stuff like that, like a one long form video. That this is a time that we need to start dragging our governments. So election is still 2 years away. Look at the current state of Nigeria. I am due to travel to Nigeria soon and I'm terrified of going. Should that be the case for someone who has been away for a very long time? Should that be the case? It's not as maybe I'm terrified that maybe I've done something wrong. No. But then because I know that there's lack of security in Nigeria,